nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for joining me today for the live stream. Shout out to the NTZ crew, Michael Beach of Life, and Jacob Tanjay. Thank y'all so much. I know I'm up against the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship tonight, so we'll do whatever we can do. We're still going to have some fun. It's a good topic today. The power of a firm no in the Philippines. But y'all know I always like to talk about a few things before we get started. Now, Texas Azori says the dollar to the peso 51.67. When I checked it, it was 51.34. Either way, it's over 50, so that's a good deal. I tried to send Dana. I think Dana's still busy. Jeff Lay says, shout out to Dana Milton for working so hard to get my flight in May. Thanks, Dana. Yeah, excuse me. Dana's no joke, man. I wanted to send my condolences out to the family of the Israeli national who was killed in Cagayan de Oro March 31st. I don't know how I missed this. I didn't see it till today, but the two-man tandem got him. They're investigating now. He was in the lending business, guys, so that kind of gives you a little bit of inside knowledge of probably why he was killed. And he had recently broke up with his live-in partner. So they're investigating that tip, but it's an expat's worst nightmare to come over here and get shot down by the two-man tandem. So my condolences are to his family. Also, they arrested a South Korean in this fraudulent investment scam. Now, he didn't do it to anybody over in the Philippines. He did it in his home country. He'd been hiding out in the Philippines for almost 4 years. Well, actually 4 years. He came here February 2018. He had defrauded one of his countrymen out of $312,000. And they put a mission, what do they call it? A mission order to Bureau of Immigration, a red alert. They tracked him down. So if you try to come over here and hide, they're eventually going to find you. And they've got him in one of the immigration detention centers in Cebu while deport proceedings are going on. I do got some good news. Cebu City is Alert 1 now, which means establishments can accommodate their guests at 100% capacity. A lot of the Philippines is opening up. 11 more cities here in Negros Occidental have actually been declared COVID-free, whatever that means. But Calatrava being one of them, which is right up the street from us. I was talking to some guys. Actually, I was talking to Franz last night at the hotel about drinking in these clubs and in these local spots in the Philippines and how it can potentially be a problem. Well, in Cebu City, they've had 2 brawls involving at least 15 people, one in Talisay and then the other one in Lahogue over by IT Park, where people get drunk, man, and you getting caught up in the middle or something like that, it could be a problem. We were talking about the Americans, a couple of Americans that got killed here, one not far from here, excuse me, and then the other down in Dumaguete. They're drunk in these local establishments, man, and whatever envy that the Filipinos have against you will usually come out when they're drunk. So just be careful, man. Drink in your hotel, your Airbnb, or at home. 27 million COVID doses are set to expire in the Philippines in July because most people who are eligible for the booster shots aren't taking them. I haven't taken my booster shot yet, but I will because I don't want anything to go bad. Let me see what else I put down here before we get started. Yeah, this is kind of old news, but Duterte signed into law that measure raising the age of sexual consent from 12 to 16, Republic Act 11648. And what that really does, guys, it exempts minors engaging in consensual sexual activity from criminal liability as long as the age difference is 3 years or less. But it doesn't apply if the victim's under 13. So if anybody gets any stupid ideas about coming over here, fooling with minors, you need to think again, guys. Okay? So the subject tonight is having a firm no in the Philippines, the power of a firm no in the Philippines. It's very important. I wrote some things down here before we can get started. It says, being a yes man in the Philippines is expensive and time consuming. It says, many of us are afraid of saying no over here because we don't want to disappoint anyone. No is the default word over here, and Filipinos are used to hearing it. Saying no saves you time, money, and energy and will give you a more realistic experience in the Philippines. And I went online. I was just looking up what psychologists say about no. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But I'm going to tell you something. You better be able to say no over here. I know it's difficult at first, but it gets easier the more you say it, because as a foreigner over here, you're going to be constantly asked to buy things, from these street vendors and everything like that. And just a firm no, and you on your way. I know a lot of times when you try to people please, a lot of times we'll say yes when we really mean no. And then later on, when it's time for you to put up or attend the engagement or whatever it is, you really don't want to go. You feel bad, but you were afraid to say no, man. Saying no is not selfish, guys, really. Herbert Williams said, congratulations to the Don Staley and the University of South Carolina women's basketball team on defeating UConn. They defeated Louisville in the semifinals. Yeah, the thing about women's basketball, it's always the same teams, usually same handful of teams that end up winning it. Because recruiting, women are more committed to these universities, it seems like, than men. There's not a whole lot of money involved that can sway or recruit one way or the other in the women. So once you get 3 or 4 great women players, other ones will follow, the loyalty and everything. So this is their second championship, University of South Carolina, and they'll probably win another one. They'll go on a run like UConn did. What's up, Reg? From Delaware. Let's see. Yusuf says, I understand Filipinos generally don't like to say no, so how would it look on the foreigner? Well, no is the default word over here. Filipinos don't have a problem. What do you mean they don't like to say no? They're used to hearing it. Are you hiring? No. Can I get a loan? No. Can I get a tourist visa so I can go visit America and Canada and Brazil? No. No. But we don't want to say no because we're people pleasers. We don't want to rain on the parade. But a good firm no makes people respect you, man. It sets up boundaries because people they'll learn what they can ask you for. You know, the things that you're generally used to saying yes. Yeah, they'll learn that real quick. And then, you know, you feeling taken advantage of, but it's really your problem. Brian Hagley says, I saw the video of your wife working out called Filipino Power. When is the video of Calvin Power coming out? Oh, man, I've got 3 videos of me working out. Matter of fact, I just started back working out yesterday, man. My wrists are a whole lot better. They're not 100%, though. Okay, Jeremy. He says, I'll be there in 8 days to meet my Filipina. He's nervous. Oh, if you're nervous, imagine what she's feeling. She's even more nervous. But remember, like Texas always says, don't be a hero. Don't be afraid to say no. Because I tell you, we get in some jackpot situations over here by always saying yes. Let me see what I wrote down here. You know, people are always going to ask you to sponsor their business or something like that, man. Just say no. Just say, you know, I'm just only going to be here for a few weeks. I just want to relax. I want, you know, more time for me. It's going to save you money, absolutely. Let me see what. No, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean, Yusuf. Yeah, he's just kidding. But you know what it is. You know, she might say, do you want to go to visit my mountain province? Now, instead of you saying, no, you know, I just came off of a 20-hour flight, you know, maybe let's take a look at that next week. What you will say is yes. And then next thing you know, you got a 3-hour ferry ride, a 5-hour bus ride, and then another 45 minutes straight up a mountain. And you'll hate that you 45 minutes straight up a mountain. And yeah, Fred, you're getting the feedback.
Oh, okay.
Fred, he's the only one that showed up today. Thanks, Fred.
No problem.
How important is it, Fred, to say no over here in the Philippines? Because you got a lot of years over here.
I say no all the time.
Yeah.
It's not hard to say no. Yeah, I think what it is, somebody's new to the Philippines. You're there, you're meeting your lady for the first time, and you hate to say no because you're trying to give the proper expression, you know, or trying to be nice. Let's put it that way. And by not saying no can get you in a whole lot of trouble. I can tell you that right now.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to say about this Cebu brawl that they had, they're not going to reimpose the curfew because of that. See, it got so bad, man. They had 2 big brawls over here in Cebu, Fred, where they get drunk out there and start fighting in front of those places. You got any? What do you think about that? If you want to get drunk, is it good to get drunk in one of these local places?
Nope, you're asking for trouble. And the reason I'm saying that, I'm talking about from experience. We had a couple Americans that were killed because they went to a Filipino place. They got drunk, started a fight. One of them didn't make it out. Instead of the second guy learning his lesson, he goes back a month later, same place, gets in a brawl. He didn't make it. So you got 2 Americans killed or foreigners killed for no apparent reason at all, except they were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, and that's what happened here a couple of times. Look, the young dude in Dumaguete, man. I mean, he had a great job teaching at Silliman University, but he made the wrong decision of getting drunk in the local bar, man, and they jumped him, man, and beat him to death.
Yep, they will.
Hey, Tam, he says, thanks for the super chat. He says, looking forward to my visit in June. Yeah, it's a great time to be a man over here, Fred, in the Philippines.
Yeah, I see. You know, I was looking for Mo, you interviewing Mark. Excellent interview. I really enjoyed it. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice to have two guys come in there and tell you just like it is. And you've been saying that for months.
That's right. And I was with Franz Pracio last night. What's up, Sam Champion? He said, good evening, good morning. My attention is divided watching the basketball championship and watching this live stream. Yeah, that's what I said. But hell, life goes on, Sam. You know, after that basketball game, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good one. But yeah, Fred, you're exactly right. Those guys had a lot to say, and they were able to express themselves. I was talking to Franz last night. This is his first time over here, and man, is he having the time of his life. And he said, Calvin, everything you said is true. Imagine this is his first time leaving the country ever, Fred, and he comes to the Philippines. That's amazing. So everything else is going to be like everywhere else he goes, he's going to compare it to the Philippines.
He'll be back.
Yeah. Oh, he's extending. He's
Oh.
not leaving. Hey, Walt Mosier, thanks for that super set. Instead of no, do what Filipinos do. Maybe later. Now that's a great point. Because later is one of their favorite words. That's a fact. Oh, Fred, you got a comment. He said, there he is, gentleman. Fred looks 50 years of age. He ain't 77. Fred just had a birthday. How old are you, Fred?
72.
Okay, yeah. When are you and Rudy gonna hook up, man? Y'all not that far from each other, are you?
Well, I sent Rudy an email. Hey, Rudy, you never emailed me back. I'd like to give you my telephone number because I would love to hook up.
That's right, man. Michael Dorsonville said, honesty goes a long way. If the answer is no, then say no at the end of the day. Your P9 will love and respect you for that. Yeah, that's true. And everybody will, because a lot of times, Fred, we'll say yes when we really want to say no. And then when time to, take Fred back home at 2 a.m, I'm pissed off about it.
Calvin, here's one more thing you got to worry about. That word maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe is the same as yes. You know.
Oh, yeah. But, we're afraid to say no. We're people pleasers over here. We don't want to rain on the parade. And it could be a disaster, man. You got to say no over here. You're constantly being asked to buy stuff, to go places. And if you just, you're only on a limited time, 2 weeks or whatever it is. The average stay over here is 9.5 days. You better learn how to say no. We were hanging out at the hotel last night. We had 3 nice-looking women with us, Fred. And but I'm trying to tell you guys that the Filipino will pass on you. Filipinos aren't desperate. The one guy that was with us, he got shot down, and I hope his feelings wasn't hurt, because that's just one of many chances he'll get. But see, she wasn't afraid to say no. For his advances, she said no, and he left in a hurry, man. I was like, I didn't know she had said no, Fred. But next thing you know, he was coming to me and saying, I gotta go. I'm sleepy. I'm tired. And I'm like, oh, okay, man. I hope you had a good time. And come to find out, the lady had shot him down. Pumpkin Joe says, I don't go to expat hangouts where they're drinking. I certainly wouldn't go to a strictly local hangout where they're drinking. It's too easy for people to lose face. And then, well, yeah, there was a Israeli guy that recently got killed over here. But he was in the lending business, Fred.
Well, we talked about that on the previous video.
Yeah, he was in the lending business, and he had recently broke up with his live-in partner. So he had a couple of people pissed off at him. And that's just one of those things where, it's easy money, but man, the risk involved in that one, Fred,
It's not worth it.
it's not worth it. Yeah, my life's a whole lot worth more than that. Yeah,
Calvin, Calvin, people want to drink. Why don't you just stay home? Why do you have to go out in the street if you want to get drunk? Stay home.
yeah, I don't get that either. But when you're younger, because see, 43% of the people who come over here are 25 to 34. I didn't know that. But a lot of them are like Korean and Japanese, Chinese, because they're right over here already. But
Yes.
that's still a lot of people. But here's what psychologists say. They say no establishes boundaries and clarity. It says some things are off limits. See, if you say yes all the time, people will start asking you for anything and asking you to do anything. But if they know, hey, this guy more than likely is going to say no, that'll set a boundary. Oh, yeah. Yeah, say no to that 5'6". Haitian government says, talk about the lending business a little bit. Well, it's part of the fabric of Filipino culture, Fred. You know that. The 5'6"
Yes.
business, right?
We have it here on Guam, too.
Yeah.
We have it here.
It's really over here because you got to realize people can't go to the bank and get a typical loan. So what they'll do to start these little sorry stores, to maybe get a place at the local market or online business started, they'll take out a couple of $1,000 peso loan. For every 5 pesos you borrow, you pay back 6. And they give you 30 days to do it. So if I borrow $1,000, I have to pay 1,200 back. So that's 40 pesos a day. They'll come to your house or your business every day to collect that 40 pesos. And every day you miss, then they add the interest onto it. But some people have borrowed so much that they just pay the interest back. The principal stays there, Fred. That's right. What they want you to do. It's just as crazy, and it can get just as expensive as these payday loans in America. Work the same way, right?
Sure does.
It's to the point where you can only afford to pay the interest. And they're saying, okay, that's fine. So you do that for several months, but the principal's still here. So Haitian government, it's a lucrative business over here. The Indians have it down pat over here. They have it sold up. But it's a lot of locals that engage in it too. Because they see how lucrative it is. But it can be dangerous. Because people over here, they'll think, well, I owe him $100,000. It's cheaper for me to just hire somebody for $10,000 to kill him than pay him back the $100,000. That's why when you see these guys, man, they're like this. When they come around to collect, they like this. You can't, you like this. You don't know who it is behind that, Fred, right?
That's true. You don't. Right? Yep, I have.
Yeah. So it's lucrative, but it's dangerous. Fred, do they still have military hops in Guam? He's asking.
Yeah, they still have. Well, let me retract that. I haven't checked lately because I know when we had COVID going on, everything was put at a standstill. So I don't know if they started the hops back again or not.
Okay. W Secrets to Success Vlog says, that sounds like a loan shark business. Well, that's exactly what it is. But they just call it 5'6".
Yeah.
But it's so ingrained in society over here. See, that was one of Duterte's campaign promises. He was going to get rid of it. But obviously you can't do it, man. You can't do it. People, what are you going to replace it with? They're going to need it. They can't go to the bank and get it. Yeah, that's also a very dangerous business. Yeah, it is a dangerous business. It's they'll hire somebody as a collector usually a local. And like I said, all you'll be able to see is his eyes. You don't know who he is. He could be your next door neighbor, but that's a dangerous job to have. I wouldn't want it. There's an Indian here at the market. You go there around 5 when it's about ready to close. And here's Mark. We're going to add Mark to the screen.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mark.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
He's going from stall to stall collecting whatever it is their interest. What's up, Mark? Are you
What's
leaving
going on,
today?
bro? Yeah, man. I got to go to the airport soon so I can take the antigen test to get back into the United States.
Oh, okay. So you already did, or you got to do it
No,
now?
I got to do it. I've been scrambling trying to find a place, but it seems like the best place for me to do it at is at the airport. So that's what I'm going to do, but it takes 2 or 3 hours, so I got to get there early.
What time's your flight? You don't mind
3
asking?
o'clock.
Oh, okay, yeah. What kind of feelings you got going on right now?
Man, I got mixed emotions. I miss my family, my daughters, my dog, but that's about it. I'm not looking forward to going back to the drama, the rat race, that kind of thing. Even though I kind of live a retired life as a hermit, it's just the whole atmosphere, the people that you encounter there. I'm just in love with the Eastern mindset. I guess that's about the best way to say it.
Is your girlfriend already gone back home?
No, she's sitting here. She'll be catching the ferry soon when we check out of the room. She'll be going back to Leyte, and I'll be headed to the airport. Last night we got some Filipino ink. Got a new tat. I taped it all. Maybe I'll upload the video. I'll edit it or something while I'm in the airport all these hours. 30 hours to get back to the United States.
Wow. TJ Johnson said, what's worse in your opinion, 5-6 loans outright or the average ever-present lawyers and pawn shops? Oh, absolutely the 5-6. Because what would 5-6, what would that interest be? You're talking that's 20%, but that's if you pay it on time. And them lawyer, they got 1% if you pay within a certain time, I think 1 or 2 days, 2% within a week, 3% a month. So yeah, it's a lot worse, but it's easier to get the 5-6 loan than going to the pawn shop or lawyer, because a lot of them don't have anything of value to pawn, where they're going to get 1,000 pesos or whatever.
That's true.
Yusuf says, why is it called a 5-6? Well, for every 5 pesos you borrow, you have to pay 6 back. What's the name of your channel, Mark? You got a new channel.
Yeah, I got a new channel on YouTube. It's called Osiris, Osiris, Transitioning. And it's documenting my transition from the United States to the Philippines over the next 12 months. And I'll be doing like videos from the Philippines and in America showing the things that I'm doing, the prepping that I'm doing to prepare to make that transition to the Philippines.
I've been getting this a lot about you, James Earl Jones, but you sound more like him than look like him, but you could go fast for son. But you're a dead ringer for his voice, man.
I wish I get paid on that. I wish there was money in that.
well, actually, if you think about it, it is. You could do animation.
True.
He says, anybody says questions, if you had Asian parents in the States, should you still live full-time in the Philippines? Anyone? It just depends on how good a shape they're in, if they're still dependent, and if you're the only one that, can look after them, I would say, stay at home. Because remember, they took care of us when we couldn't take care of ourselves. So if they can't take care of themselves, obviously, but remember, planes are flying back and forth from the Philippines to America all the time. So you were here 30 days then, Mark, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, 28 days. The 30 days would be the 2 days it's going to take me to get back home.
Oh, okay.
So, Mark, when are you going back?
Yeah.
Today.
I'm talking about back. When are we going to come back to the Philippines?
Oh, I'll be back in the Philippines in September.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, we're going to break ground on a house in Palampang.
Oh, okay.
My girl, I'm interested in living a simple life like the natives. So we're gonna
Yeah.
do a half concrete, half flex board, and then
Yeah.
raise animals. I already have chickens and lambs here in the Philippines
Yeah.
at her dad's farm, and we're gonna integrate that stuff over there. And I'm gonna try to live a simple life. You know, that's what really drew me to the Philippines, is to try to live a simpler lifestyle.
Why do you pronounce it like that?
What?
You say Philippines.
Yeah, the Philippines or the Philippines. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Philippines, yeah,
Maybe it's
yeah.
that Midwest thing I got going. I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah, because my girlfriend was like, what is he saying? I said, well, I know there's like something like that in the Bible, Philippians.
Yeah, Philippians. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think it was the Philippines he was actually writing to, but that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, Alan Butner says loan sharking was my fiance's racket in Philippines, but quit when I started to support her. A lot of locals do it over here now because they see how lucrative it is. But a lot of times, you know, if you don't have the brute force, the muscle to enforce that, you know, to put the fear of God into people to make them pay, then it's not going to work. Your next door neighbor probably is not going to pay you on time.
Right. And then by you not being legitimate, you have no legal recourse. So even if you sign a contract with them or anything, it's almost impossible to get your money back if they default.
That's right. Yeah, that's
But
right.
that's a chance that you take if you don't pay it back, especially some of these bigger 5-6 lenders.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
real ones will hurt you.
Yep.
But your next door neighbor that you see all the time, he's not going to do anything.
You know,
But
I got an interesting.
Get mad at you.
I got an interesting story real time about that. I got some people here that were trying to convince me to be a financier in the lending business. They wanted they wanted me to come up with 50,000 pesos, and then they would give me 6% every 2 weeks. But the thing is, I could never, you know what I mean? It's going to be sad song after sad song. I decided I wasn't going to upgrade their lifestyle. I declined.
Yeah, and see, I think this is right.
Yeah.
This does compound daily. It's not just a flat 20%, because now if you don't pay the first month, it's 20%. The second month, it goes to 40%.
Yeah.
The third, 60%. So pretty soon, you're way up there. And that's what they want. They want you to default. Hey, Franz Prazio Jr., thanks for the super chat. He said, what's up, Calvin, in the panel? We were with him last night. He stayed the same place you stayed, Mark, the Mawani.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he just said it over and over. Man, this is the life.
Hey, Calvin, remember what Mark just said? We were talking about saying no. What did Mark do?
Yeah, said no. That's right.
Yeah, and my greatest fear was that they wouldn't pay me the money, and I would ask for the money, and they would figure it's easier just to whack this guy than to give him his damn money. So
that's what you just said.
That's what I just said. Hey, it's Kadawi TV. What's going on? He said, thanks for the super chat. He said, morning, Cal. Thanks for the invite, bro. A little busy with my Linux Red Hot Labs. Boy, what is that? I don't know what that is. What is that?
I have no idea.
Manila. Mark.
What's up?
Are you flying out of Cebu or Manila?
Oh, Cebu. I'm in Cebu City right now, IT Park.
Yeah, he said Cebu said you should be signing up, swabbing, and getting a result within 15 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, but Mo contacted me and said that it'd take about 2 hours. So that's why I'm trying to get to the airport a lot earlier, because I need to be on that plane.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, he said he just subbed to your channel.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
I was telling Mark to be loose like he is now, because when he's on his channel, he looked like a robot. Because my girlfriend didn't even recognize it was you. I was like,
I don't know why I was nervous. I talk about the Philippines all the time, but I just I froze up.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Mark, you and Mo did an outstanding interview. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah. I'm glad you did.
Mark, do you feel like crying since you're about to leave?
Not this time. I did that last night in my girl's arms secretly in my mind. You know, I cry my mind every day I'm in the United States because I know a better way, a better life to live, and it's almost like anguishing to get to the point that I could really make that move because I'm thinking about my kids and making sure I got all my ducks in a row before I make that move. So I don't want to like rush in, and it's the wait. It's that sometimes can be anguishing.
Yeah, I know. But I told my kids, I said, look, life had got so stressful for me over there. I said, if I live here, I'm not going to be able to do you any good dead because I'm dead. All right, walking around, half my body, I done had a stroke, half my body don't work. So would you rather know where I am and know that I'm happy? And if you ever need me, I'm here. Than me be over there stressed out, and they understood that. And the rest of everybody else doesn't matter, really. My brothers and sisters, they saw me for 55 years. I'm not going to change. About 3 days, then it's time for me to, when you going back to the Philippines,
That's Christopher Wolfgang. I'm in Stanley, North Carolina. Mount Holly, right outside of Charlotte.
Oh, okay.
My son's in North Carolina, but he's at Fort Bragg is where he's at.
Oh, military base, Army.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, we actually had a chance to go back and visit. My kids were raised here on Guam. My youngest was born here. So once they became of age, and we went back to the States to see my oldest, a couple of times because, we got grandkids and all that. But mainly, if you want to see me, you're going to have to come here. I'm not going back there.
Yeah.
Because, after my mom, after my dad passed, it just wasn't the same. And, I got family back there, but I can talk to them on WhatsApp. Was it FaceTime? It's the same as I'm there. I don't need to be back there in the States. And I just don't like that long plane ride.
Yeah.
Fred is my hero because he thinks the same way I do. It's like, the hell with that 20-hour flight. And, I'm just here, man. If y'all want to come and see me, come on. I'll buy you a plane ticket. But I don't feel safe over there, man. They're killing over there where I'm from.
Every day. Every day.
I told you that, Mark. I said, that's the reason why I don't want to go home. I'm afraid one of those guys is going to shoot me. I went, right before I left, I went to a restaurant. Now, look how old I am. And I got a blue turtleneck, a mock neck on, and some clowns with some red on is challenging me. That's the type of stuff that you got to deal with over there. I could wear any color I want over here. Nobody's going to bother me.
Right.
Ain't got time for that, man. Or you might step on his brand new Air Force One shoes. They'll kill you for that. Where I'm from, that's how petty they are. Or don't sit on their car. Or, Lord have mercy, don't have an accident and wreck one of them old vintage cars that they've spent, all that dope money to fix up. They're going to kill you. For that.
Yeah, and there's a social economic decline that's happening in the United States right now.
Yeah.
That really don't get the proper attention, but there's people like lurking at the grocery store, man. You come out the grocery store with too many groceries, your ass might be in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, it's really getting dangerous in the United States.
Absolutely, man. And that's why I'm like, man, if it ain't broke, don't break it. I mean, if it's an emergency, I'm coming, but hell, if it's an emergency, man, I'm staying over here. I'll probably go later on this year so they can see me in the flesh and, and like I said, get that 72-hour red carpet treatment, Fred.
I'll tell you what, if they want to see me in the States, I'll send them a 3D cutout, go and add a recording to it.
Yeah. But I'm going to get back to what Mark was saying. See, I wrote this down. It said business deals take flight when you're near. Everybody's looking for a sponsor or a loan. Mm-hmm. You got to say no over here, guys. If you don't, you're going to regret it, man. How many guys I want to hear some stories because I know there's people watching this that they've lent money or they went into business with somebody or they bought something they really didn't want to buy.
I can tell you a story right now, Cal. My good friend of mine, we known each other from our military days, and he's been out here on Guam. So One of the ladies we knew, she was working for some travel agency to help, Filipinos go abroad and all this stuff. So she talked to him, giving her all this money to go and set this business up and tried to get me to go. And I said, no, I'm not getting into that. And he wound up losing 100,000 pesos, man. He never got that money back.
Oh, yeah. And he's lucky. That's only 100,000.
Well, like I said, but it was 100,000 he really couldn't afford to lose, to be honest with you.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He got lucky.
Yeah, this time on this trip, I even had somebody that I had known for quite a while proposition my girl, like, I'll show you how you can milk them for money and you give me a kickback type
come on
shit.
Now. Come on now. Somebody supposed to be your friend? Oh,
Yeah,
come on, man.
And I guess they got this Filipino code thing working where they didn't think she was gonna tell me.
Yeah. Let me tell them that story about the 20,000 pesos you left in your pocket.
Oh, yeah. So I'm staying in IT Park. I'm in the Avita Towers. And my girl usually washes my clothes as soon as I slip them off. And she even wanted to hang them on the balcony at my Awani's. I was like, baby, this ain't that kind of joint. But anyway, so we don't have a balcony or anything here. So she thought she would take my clothes to the laundry. But usually in the Philippines, I had money in my clothes because, if they come and toss my room, they're not going to steal my clothes because I'm the fattest guy in the land. You feel me? Can't nobody fit this shit but me. You know what I'm saying? So I got money in my clothes. So I got four $100 bills in my pants pocket. And she sent a load down there. And the young lady was like, there was just a patch of your pants that just would not get dry. It was the money that was watered up in my pants. It just wouldn't dry. So they patted the wet spot and pulled out four $100 bills. And they kept it off to the side. And then when we walked in there, they came to us. It was wrapped in paper and taped real tight. And the guy, he was like, we found this in your wallet. I mean, in your pants, 400 pieces. For $100 pieces. Yeah. Now I'm thinking he talking pesos. So I'm not even tripping. I'm like, oh wow, I left 400 pesos in my pocket. Oh yeah, whoop de doo. But when I bust the sleeve down and seen the $100 bills, man, I was ecstatic.
I know you blessed them though, right?
Yeah, look, I gave both of them 1,000 pesos. And what's amazing is that he said, oh yeah, now this will cover my month's rent in the boarding house. So they had literally found like 2 years worth of rent money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And was honest enough to return that. Now, I would like to believe that it's their integrity and uprightness and not all the closed circuit cameras that's everywhere. But
maybe they didn't know where to exchange the damn money.
But guys, but what I like to think? I like to think they were really honest people.
That's what I want to believe.
I watch your blog. I saw when you go out, you talk with people. Nobody ever stole anything from you, and it make me believe that's a really good place to be. Where you're talking about being at. I mean, you move on down to Angeles City, you got to watch yourself, man. Your head better be on swivel. You're walking down the street.
I had my debit card in the same pocket as my phone. I'm in line at Jollibee, and I'm actually going into Jollibee. I pulled my phone out to use it. My debit card fell out. This is in the mall now. And I'm sitting there waiting for my order. Here comes the guard with my card. He says, "Hey, are you Calvin Rhodes?" My debit card, man.
Wow.
Yeah. And I thought that was amazing, man. But you look at this ticket price right here. It's coming down. Dana said give it about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
The prices will start coming down.
Oh yeah, because when I came, the tickets was at $1,800, almost $1,900.
Wow.
Yeah.
And John Gomez says, "Well, damn it, I have to do that flight." They're going to eventually come back down to where they were before. He said, "Just subscribe, Mark. It would help me prep for a transition overseas." Yeah. See, that's what I told him. I said, "Man, that's when I interviewed him, he said, this is an action trip." He said, "Because I'm in the process of transitioning to the Philippines, making the transition." And I said, "Man, that'll be a good title for your vlog, and just talk about the things that you're doing to to be prepared. A lot of people are in that same situation, Mark. I think you've on to something.
Thank you.
He said America's going crazy. Going crazy. Some guy,
It's already there.
I made a video on Zamboanga, and under the comments, the guy said, yeah, but Zamboanga this, Zamboanga that. They had a siege there in 2013. People got killed. And I said, well, if I'm not mistaken, there was a siege in America in 2021 and people were killed.
That's right.
Didn't they seize the capital or something?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you saying?
Calvin, people keep talking about different things, like you move back to the States and everything else. And I was talking with Lynn yesterday, and, with all the problems we as Black people have back in the States, I was telling my wife, because we were looking at the issue in Kharkiv over there, and I said, at least those people got a home to go back to. And if you think about it, I don't really have a home, I was telling her, not the way we're treated, And she said, well, honey, you got a home. I said, where is that? She said, with me in the Philippines. That's your home.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, I can't go back anyway because I have to hit the ground, man, running if I went back to the States to live. I don't have a place there. I don't have a job. I'm too old to be hustling like that, man. I mean, I'd really have to hustle the minute I landed, because everybody now they're going to come out of the woodwork. You shouldn't have been over there for 3 years. And, it's just something I don't have any place to go back to. But Reginald's asking you, Mark, said, what will you do for your medical while living in the province?
Well, I'm in the process of having a lot of extensive medical stuff done. And then once I get my condition diagnosed and under control, then if I need medicines, I'll get them from the pharmacy. But really, what initially drew me to the Philippines was the healing herbs and vegetables. Yeah. So I'm going to try to live a more holistic type lifestyle. They got a lot of cancer fighting vegetables and fruits, and 75% of the world nurses come from the Philippines. And you can just try me on this. If anybody's dating a Filipino or chatting with her, say you got a problem, she's going to recommend a healthy solution to your problem. It could be high blood pressure. It could be gout. It could be eczema. She'll say, eat this or drink that, or, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to try to get away from the pharmaceutical type of lifestyle and try more holistic health. That's one of the main reasons I'm coming to the Philippines. And I'm from Chicago. And I always wanted to raise chickens and fish and all that kind of stuff. And I just never had that opportunity. I'm at the age of my life that I want to have a real simple life. And I believe that I can have that in the jungles of Leyte. So I'm going to give it a shot.
Well, now that you're talking about holistic treatment, when I overextended my knee playing tennis, she didn't go to the store and get some ointment. Her mother went out and got some type of leaves that they use.
Yeah.
They
Well,
and information out, and they put it around me and wrap me up.
It's old time medicine. It's been around for thousands of years, and we sort of got away from that because you got to remember. Think about it, guys. When you're growing up in the States, you need a lot of processed food back in the days. My grandmother had a garden. Everybody had a garden. And anything that you got was always fresh. Apples, peaches. Reach up and get it right off the tree. Now everything we eat now is so processed. We get so much chemicals in our body. We don't know what they put in the stuff anymore.
Yeah, that's what I tell my friends about the food. I say, the chickens are so small here in the Philippines, and I might just eat 2-3 pieces of chicken and be satisfied. When in the United States, the chicken is oversized, and I got to eat half a bird, 3/4 of a bird. I say, but I don't think it's the chicken. I think it's the drugs in the chicken. Yeah. So like I'm a fiend. I'm fiending I'm trying to get my therapeutic dose of drugs. So I got to eat 2-3 more pieces of chicken. It ain't even the chicken. It's the things that they putting in it.
Mark, I bet once you get there, I bet you, you're going to move in September. Calvin, I bet we give him 6 months. We won't recognize him anymore. Man, really, you'll drop all that weight off. You'd be surprised, and you may not even notice.
Cal Devin said, guys, when you travel here, some places ask for an ass pass, but it's becoming less and less.
Yeah.
See, Cebu right now is alert 1. when you go to a place that's alert 2, like where I live, they no longer need it. Franz Prazio Jr., he came here yesterday, and he didn't need it anymore to come to San Carlos City. I mean, it's very few places that you need that S Pass, but I mean, you can easily get it. Go to the S Pass, put S Pass in the Google search. It'll come on. You click on that, and just where your your origin and your destination. It'll tell you if you need one, and if you do, they'll just say upload your ID and maybe your vaccination card.
Everyone knows about that travel insurance, right? Most of the guys know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes here. It's coming
Yeah.
to the Philippines, but if you're traveling around the Philippines, you don't need that.
Right.
But
you
you need to get in. But you actually need
Yeah.
to get in.
Yeah.
Which I got some good
this
news. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I'm not.
No, I was saying I got some good news on that travel insurance. If I travel with Lynn, I don't need it.
This is my first time actually getting travel insurance.
Uh-huh.
But I did a lot more than I usually do.
Yeah.
And I could almost see the benefit of having some kind of insurance or something, especially if you're going to be active, if you're going to be climbing and diving and, maybe even riding a scooter, things like that. Because, it can be pretty expensive. And the thing is, in the Philippines, you got to have your money when you go to the doctor. They ain't going to see you.
Well, even the same thing can happen with the travel insurance because most everything is on a cash basis. And if that hospital doesn't file for that travel insurance, if they're not going to get that money, you're going to have to file it yourself whenever you get back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times you have to pay and then they'll reimburse you. So you're going to have to pay anyway.
So why would you need it? Since you got to pay anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe it's that's crazy, but at least you get it back.
Yeah, that's true. And they may even drop it as more and more where the Philippines open up, more flights start coming in. They may decide to go and do away with it.
Well, see, the travel insurance has always been there. We just haven't elected to use it, Fred. But it carries more benefits than just a medical emergency benefit.
Sure.
If you have to cancel your trip, it covers that. If you lose your luggage, it covers that. If your plane is delayed, it may give
you get paid.
Accommodations and stuff like that. We just are too cheap to spend that extra $40.
Well, the only reason people are getting it now because it has to have the COVID statement in it. If it wasn't for that, people probably still would be cheap. I never thought about it because, my situation is a little bit different. And the area I'm at, since I'm a military retiree, I can use, Clark Regional Medical Center and I'll be covered. And which they take TRICARE, which I probably have maybe a couple of dollars out of my pocket is all I would have to pay.
Yeah. Well, that's great insurance you got that TRICARE for life.
Yes.
I don't know if you can get anything better than that, but one guy had put up here, he saw a flight a one-way from Seattle to Manila. Unless you're a Filipino, you can't use that.
No.
Okay. You go ahead and, a lot of times a round trip is going to cost you less than a one-way ticket anyhow.
Right.
Okay.
But
you need a round trip ticket to get in here. And I wouldn't do the onward thing because this is, again, will help you in case of an emergency or you need to go back home. That ticket's already there. All you have to do is, if you want.
They may not even let you on. They may not even let you on the flight unless you got a round trip ticket. That's one.
I spoke to Clegg, and what he does. He was in San Carlos City, and he flies, and he pays $99 and gets his visa extended in the United States, and that way he don't have to have no throwaway ticket. He can get a longer plane ticket out because his visa is longer. And I think you can do it up to 90 days.
Yeah. I guess you could, it's a lot of ways you could work around that. But most of us, we're just going to come here, we'll buy the round trip ticket, and if we want to extend, we'll just go on to the Bureau of Immigration. And then, of course, if you want to keep that same plane ticket, you're going to have to pay to get that extended too. I'm sending Dana the link.
Yeah. Actually, I talked with Dana. Me and him had a long conversation. He's a pretty cool guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sending him the link now.
Okay.
Yeah, but Mark, that's a great idea. But see, a lot of guys, they'll get confused trying to do that.
Yeah.
That's why I just try to keep it simple. Just, it's not really that hard to do, to be honest with you. But yeah, you're right. He can buy a longer plane ticket, but you can see some airlines will let you schedule 6 months out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Normally when I come there, when I see there's a good deal on the ticket, I buy it. And it's usually 6 months out is when I make my travel plans to come to the Philippines.
You said nobody's coming to the Philippines for fresh vegetables. You coming for the fresh peas.
Well, the fresh vegetables,
You know.
the fresh vegetables help you get down where you can continue to get that fresh peas.
well, like the beach of life, you are what you eat. So if you eat a lot of technically, you will be eating fresh vegetables.
Everybody got their own reasons why they do what they do.
You can buy throwaway tickets, Sass, but what we're saying is, okay, so now if you buy a throwaway ticket and you have to go back home for whatever reason, you got to buy another one way from Manila to Chicago or whatever. But remember, if you don't use your round trip ticket, your return ticket is a throwaway ticket. See, because mine was. I came here, I didn't even pay $600 in 2018 for a round trip from Chicago to Cebu. Okay. But my round trip, I knew I wasn't going to use it. So that's a throwaway ticket. But if I'd have tried to buy a one way, it was going to cost me more. Here comes Dana to the mix. So that essentially is a throwaway ticket, to be honest with you. What's going on, Dana? I'm glad to see you back since your father passed. How old was your father? I think you told me. I forgot.
92.
Wow. Yeah. Now that's a long life, right?
Yeah, especially the way he lived it. He'd had a good life, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Calvin. Calvin, he was a tennis player. So you keep swatting that ball, buddy.
But that's why when Sidney Poitier died, he was like 94 or something, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why is everybody? I mean, of course, his wife and children are going to be sad, but why should I be sad? Because I'm like, damn, man, he lived the way he lived, how he lived, and how long he lived. That should be celebrated. He was 94 years old. He lived a high-class life for decades. That's nothing to be. I mean, you're going to die, man, if nothing else. Yeah.
Calvin, that's why, I preach the fact of quality of life. That's my whole motivation for coming to the Philippines. It's the quality of life. If a woman falls across my way, that's great. But that's not my prime motivation for coming to the Philippines.
And that's a great point. One that I try to stress. One that Franz Pracio Jr., I keep bringing him up because he's a first-time traveler, Fred. He's never been out of the country. Mm-hmm. He chose the Philippines, he said, from watching my channel as the first time to travel outside the country. He said it's the best decision he ever made, but he didn't mold either. He said we didn't come over for the women. He said, but hell, after the third day, I had so many women chasing me that I didn't have no choice but to, let one of them catch him, Fred. And so he's got a beautiful woman now, man. She's cultured, man. And that's usually what happens. Now the other guy who was with us, he's searching hard, and he, I don't know. I've never seen somebody have as hard of a time finding a woman in the Philippines as this guy's having. And, they said, why don't you make a video about that? I said, no. I said, what would I call it? 8,000 miles for nothing? I don't know.
That's a good title. Calvin, something that was also, it was nice to see you get the women point of view, there in the Philippines, and, it was nice. It was nice to see their point of view versus what we guys always say and, what they say, what they're looking for.
I'm going to do more as it becomes, I think it's appropriate now. See, I don't believe in that long distance relationship crap, man. I'm against it. It's painful, man. First of all, so now that the Philippines is open, why not showcase the local women and men and let you know what's available over here?
Yeah.
Now that you can get on a plane and come over here, it's not like you're locked out anymore. And it really was no point of me doing those videos. You couldn't get over here to them. And pretty soon you're going to be out of a fortune sending money over here to them. Honestly. But Mark, are you going home with any regrets or what?
Oh no, man! I had a blast, man. I tried to take this trip. I had been locked out for 2 years, so although I've been here many times, I tried to do this one like I may never be able to come back to the Philippines. So It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing that I didn't do that I wanted to do.
I want to thank you though for stopping by. And I was chatting with a guy, and Mark stopped by here, Dana and Fred. He came. Not only did he go to Cebu and to his girlfriend, but he went out his way to come and visit me. And I said, I don't know if it gets any better than that when you really connect, when you're really making that connection with your audience. I mean, it don't get any better than that. Now I've got Franz here. It's been several guys that's come here, man. And, that's the reward of having a real YouTube channel. When people to you and they say, man, I want to meet you, and we have so much in common. So, yeah, thanks, man.
Calvin, I just booked a guy about 45 minutes ago that's on his way.
When you come in here, Dana?
I'll be here in August.
Oh, man. Wow. Okay, he said, what's the name of your channel again, Mark?
The channel is called Osiris Transitioning. Osiris is Osiris. It's a Latin word. It means open eye. So I'm transitioning to the Philippines with my eyes wide open, and I want to share that experience with the brother.
Yeah. And that's a good title for that. He said Sunshine Shoulders Maryland got her acting like she missed out on the lotto after all those stories about her sister. Yeah. But now I'm still being cautious. You see, when I interviewed Jennifer and Rose, it don't get any more innocent than that. And that's how they really are in real life. I see them almost every day. I go to the grocery store and I bought them lunch at Mahawani. They had never eaten at Mahawani before. The stuff we take for granted, it's a big deal to them over here.
Yeah.
I always ask women, have you been here? Have you been there? They don't go anywhere, guys. They're too busy working, taking care of their families, and all the other stuff, man. They don't go anywhere. If you want to show a Filipino a new way to live, just take her to another part of the Philippines. That's all you got to do.
Calvin, you bring up a very good point there. One of the things that I do for my guys, because you're right, most of the women don't really get a chance to move around. And so I give my guys not an agenda, but a list of things to do in the areas that they have told me they're interested in seeing. And then it's up to him and his girlfriend to figure out if they want to do it. but at least give them some kind of idea of what there is to do in the areas where they're going.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll add to that. You're only going to be here. They say that the average visitor's here 9.5 days. At least have an itinerary where you're going to see 1 or 2 must-see places. Don't just come here and wander around because you're 9 days. Mark's been here 30 days. How fast did that go, Mark?
Oh man, lightning fast, especially the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And, so I would say go to Boracay. I would say Mark went to Palawan. I would say go to some of these places.
Yeah.
These once-in-a-lifetime places for 2 or 3 days. And then, if you want to go visit her family or something like that, go to the province. Why not? But
Hey, Calvin,
Calvin,
Pumpkin Joe had an excellent video about the province life, what he experienced when he went up there, stayed up there just for 2-3 days. They celebrate his birthday and all that. So for guys who want to see what the province life is like, this is from Pumpkin Joe, who's from the States, who's not used to that type of life.
That's boots on the ground.
Yeah. Boots on the ground. So if you guys haven't seen that video, check it out. I thought it was pretty good. He does something a little bit different from what Calvin does. He goes different areas and he shows you some of the stuff there.
Hey, Calvin, I would suggest anybody that's going over for the first time, try to get 30 days in if you can, but please don't spend more than 3 days in any one spot.
Yeah, I was going to talk about visiting the province. The province is good to visit for most of us, but you're not going to last any more than 3 days. I promise you that. I've never stayed in those mountains not one night. I don't think I could. Because every day they go. I mean, they walk a long way just to get water, man. Drinking water. They don't have running water up there. They got electricity. So, you got to sit there and wait till they come back to take a poop. It ain't me. So you can play the song. It ain't me, man. I want to get up and I want to, and
Calvin,
and all that.
Man, I've got to have internet and I got to have a hot shower. That's my 2 criteria, buddy.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out. I only got about 25 minutes left in this hotel with my girlfriend, and so I'm gonna give me a few more hugs in before I get to the airport. I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to come on the channel and speak to the brothers, and I appreciate everything, man, you've done, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I suggested you start a channel because you got a lot to say. You got an interesting conversation, but man, just be yourself like you are now. Yeah. Don't be that robot we've been watching. Look like your girl's in front of you with the script and you read of it. I'm Mark, Osiris, transition. I'm like, look like you've been hypnotized or something.
I'll take that to account. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Mark, you have a safe trip back.
Have a safe trip, Mark.
Thank you, brother. Yeah.
Hey, Calvin. The reason he had to go, I think he's getting that last tune-up before he leaves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Getting that front end alignment.
Yeah. Getting his oil changed, probably. That's what Franz was telling me yesterday. He said his phone's been blowing up since he's been here, right? And his girl saw the phone blowing up and got jealous, right?
Yeah.
So she confronted him. He said she was a little angry, but then he said, well, can you give me an oil change? And he said, after that, everything was back to normal. It took her mind off of those other women. But
His too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was happy last night, man.
Actually, Calvin, it looks like a lot of guys, since they've been watching your blog, a lot of people are coming to San Carlos, where you're at. And I already told you I'm coming. You know, me and Lynn, we're gonna come up there for a week, hang out with you. You know.
Hey,
I
Calvin.
think that's, yeah,
Calvin.
yeah.
You know,
Dana.
since you don't have an airport at the dock for the boat, they gonna have to put up a sign that says Calvin lives here.
When you go there to visit, point of interest, Sunshine Shoulders.
Yeah, lives here. I meet everybody.
Neon sign with a pointer.
I meet everybody at the pier here, but I don't think it can get any better than that. When if you're a YouTuber, a vlogger over here, and the people relate to you so much that they want to meet you, it doesn't get any more rewarding than that, Dana, to me anyway. And then when especially Franz, he said, man, you're the reason I'm here. He says, my friends were like, why in the world would you make your first overseas trip all the way on the other side of the planet? Then I said, well, hell, why not?
Calvin, it's like with my business and the travel business, the highest form of flattery is a repeat customer. It's the same thing. You're in the insurance business, a referral. You get a referral, you can't get be flattered more than that. And that's what's happening, man. You started a community, and it's like Fred and I talk. There's a guy, Kevin Thomas, that turned out lives in my hometown. He's right here in Dallas. We get together all the time. And I talked to quite a few other people. I'm from Alabama to Seattle, all over the country. And this is you, man. You started this. Okay.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, man. But that's what we need over here, Dana. We need a community. We need a support group. You up against it halfway around the planet. You
don't need to tell me that.
Yeah, you don't have to do it by yourself. Imagine you come over here to St. Carl City, you say, well, here's a guy meeting you there. Hey, by the way, you can stay in my guest house for a couple of nights. And whatever we're eating, you're welcome to eat that too, Fred. So your pockets are going to need a rest. From the time you get to the Philippines to the time you leave, you're constantly spending. You have to spend. I mean, she can't buy anything. Her pockets have seen better days, man, because, she ain't got a whole lot, man. So to get 1 or 2 days of just where you don't have to spend any money, man, that's a big deal, man. I tell you. And I thought, we could share our experiences. Like Fred, look, how many years you got over this area, Fred?
Shoot, I got 20 years, I would say.
No, I mean in Asia around here.
Oh, in Asia? Man, I've been out in Asia since back and forth since 1972.
Yeah, see, you got information that somebody can use, man. So why not? Man, it's dark over here, man. It's raining, but they said it's a low pressure area in the Philippines. I was going to take Franz and them to the mountains, but unless the sun comes back out, I mean, it's really looking menacing out here now.
It's raining like crazy here in Dallas too.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice here today. Nice and windy today.
Contact you upon arrival. Be there June 1st through June 27th. Just through my email, Jeffrey. It's probably the best way. And then once you boots on the ground and you got your WhatsApp or your Philippine SIM card, and hell, we can talk. Then, we can talk. A lot of guys, they're not going to get a SIM card. I say get a SIM card because everybody doesn't have WhatsApp over here. And then what if you're out at the mall somewhere where you don't have Wi-Fi that you can access the WhatsApp? The SIM card is no more, and I think the SIM card is 30 pesos, Fred. What's that?
Yeah.
60 cents?
Yeah, it's not expensive at all.
Yeah, then you back. And it comes with a load, by the way.
Yeah.
So then, you can call, you can.
Well, I'm already on WhatsApp.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes when you get over here and you're at that airport and there's no Wi-Fi,
Okay.
see, you need Wi-Fi for that.
Yep.
Hollywood Baby, that's my favorite fireman. He's down in Atlanta. He said, great live stream as usual, Cal. Yeah, this is y'all live stream. He said, did they have cars in 72, Fred?
Of course they did. Well, that's funny.
Yeah. Well, those were the muscle cars was out, right?
Oh yeah. I actually I was telling Lynn, people say, your wife get older. Why do you hold on to your wife? Well, she was born in a good year. She was born in 66, and that was a good year for cars.
You got that right. Absolutely.
Yeah. See, Fred is a guru. People like him, and then you got people like Dana. He's a guru in the travel industry. So if we put all this together, man, this is just priceless information, and it's free. I didn't have it. I was like a damn fool and got on the plane and came over here. I could have landed in Marawi, Fred. That's how much I knew about the Philippines.
Calvin, I'm gonna tell you once again to let everybody know, my commitment to the community is that anybody that comes to me and lets me know that they're coming through Sunshine Shoulders, I charge them nothing. Okay? As long as they let me know, and I don't care how many hours I just put in 15 and a half hours trying to put a trip together for a guy to make it fit in his budget. And he's like, man, you sure you're not going to charge me anything? It's like, no. I'll take a contribution, but I'm not asking for anything because it's all about building this community. That's
right. And he said, does Fred have a channel? I said, hell, Fred's too busy with Lynn.
Hey, Calvin, remember what I told you? Because you asked me that a while back. I'm fully retired. I'm not working no more. That's it. And to me, that's work. Here, this is fun.
That's right.
Fred, you're going to have to call the police to get Rudy to get a hold of you, I think.
Well, probably, because I've been trying to get a hold of Rudy.
I said the same thing. I'm like, wow, man, you right over there with Rudy. But, Rudy's, I tell you, he's a character, man. Be careful what you wish for, Fred.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't mind.
Rudy might show up in his dress over there.
Well, you know what we do? We actually got a couple folks that's retired, and then we got a guy and his wife. His wife's Filipino too, and we actually get together like once a month and just have lunch, and we just have a great time and all that stuff. That's what I'm telling you, Dana. If you come this way, Calvin, you come this way, where I'm sitting at, I told you guys about this. This is like a small studio apartment with a separate kitchen on the other side. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Man, listen, guys, come on. It doesn't matter where we end up meeting each other, whether it's the Philippines or Guam. We're going to have a great time, regardless.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Regardless.
He said, can I get in touch with Fred as a fellow vet?
Sure.
Yeah.
Calvin, you can always send him my information because, you got everything. So.
Yeah. I'll send you Fred's email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But me and Dana talked a couple of times. We've had some great conversations.
Yeah, man. Every time I talk to Fred, my face ends up hurting from laughing so hard. Because see, we're within 6 months of age of each other, so we relate.
Wow. Oh yeah, y'all relate. Cal Devin says, I rake the yard and watch out for the toku. Yeah, I was telling Franz about that last night because at the swimming pool, you have those little bitty geckos, but then you got toku, toku. That's the one you don't want to fool with over here, man. Yeah. He says, when are you wrapping up, Cal? I'm trying to get on stream for a bit while I got the chance before it's my bedtime. Getting late down. Okay. Let me I'm trying to figure out how did I send you. Okay, I'm gonna send you the link in Patreon, TJ, because I don't have you so damn important. I don't have his email. But yeah, let me send it to you real quick on the. I sent it to him in the Patreon. Because, yeah, TJ was over here. He's one of them guys, man. He flies first class. And, when he left here, Fred, he didn't go straight back to the United States. He flew to Milan, Italy.
Wow.
Because, yeah, he wanted to.
He went shopping.
He said, yeah, that's right. He went to buy something there. He said it's cheaper there than in the States. I'm like, man.
Leather, anything leather.
I wish I had that kind of time and money like that. Okay, TJ, I'm sending it to you now on your Patreon. But see, TJ, man, he's Franz is in that same mini suite that you rented, TJ, because they're getting slick over here with us. When I went to Malwani, you ask them, do you have any rooms available? They'll say, well, hold on, let me see. See, that's a small place. And then they'll come back and they'll say, well, no, all we got is the suites available.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to talk to somebody because I'm like, look, I got a lot of people coming in here. Y'all got to do better than that. I feel embarrassed for a guy that come here and spend $100 in a little place like San Carlos City. To spend $100 a night for a hotel, man, that's not acceptable, man. But here's Phil Am couple in Philippines said, hey, Rudy from Guam, good morning. Oh, okay. Are you from Guam or you saying hello to Rudy in Guam? Oh, okay, here's Rudy. He's back on. He said, Fred, did you file your taxes yet and get the refund? Remember, we different from the mainland.
I got to be honest with you, Kelma. I pay every year. I don't get a refund.
Yeah. There you go, Rudy. There you go, Rudy. But yeah, I sent TJ. Yeah, because the other guy, I got him a room for $13, Fred.
Wow.
Eco Inn. And I mean, it's a decent place, man. What's up, TJ? Give us a introduction, man. People that don't know you.
Yeah, all good. I was just trying to make sure all of my sound stuff is working. You hear me normally?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right, fantastic.
Loud and clear.
What's good, y'all? I'm TJ. I am from the States, California. I currently live in New York. I work between here and the Philippines, primarily out of need to work. And yeah, I'm back and forth a bunch. Ask whatever. I just came back most recently on the 16th, like Calvin said, via London and Milan. But that's more because I'm really into like points and stuff like that. I like if I'm gonna fly first class, if I can get it done with points instead of paying a shitload of money. That's usually the go-to for me. So yeah, I did that so I could fly back Emirates first class. Got some shopping. It's cool. Worst ways to live life.
Do they really have a shower in first class?
Oh yeah, no, it's fire. I'll show you some pictures when I come back. It's definitely. I flew ANA first going, and I flew Emirates first coming back, and they're two entirely different experiences. ANA is Japanese airline, so they're a lot more about treating you with respect, giving you a clean, comfortable area, huge TV, lots of champagne, lots of caviar, but like in a very like laid back kind of demure manner. Whereas take these off so I stop looking at my reflection. Whereas Emirates is just like, I mean, Emirates is, it's an Emirati airline, right? First class is lots of Dom Perignon, lots of caviar service, lots of gold trim. The shower service, which was actually super fly. The toiletry kits when you get to first class are pretty wild regardless. But yeah. Question, am I in IT? No, I do work in cloud, however. I work in SaaS, non I wouldn't say a non-technical role, but I'm not I don't code for a living. I do code a little, but I wouldn't be out here like bragging about that.
Yeah, that's a whole other level of travel for me. Hell, I'm back there in the economy, Fred, and smelling feet and everything else because
Back there by the restrooms.
take their shoes off back there, and I got to get up every hour to use the bathroom because it's so cramped in there. But I'm going to try first class.
Well, I've been first class a few times. I was in the States, but usually when I was traveling these long distance, I get in a super economy plus. You know what I'm talking about, Dana? It's the seats right behind business, real comfortable. They feed you. You get
premium economy. That's where it's at.
Yeah, so that's how I fly.
Yeah, you can't fly. You can't fly first class all the time in Philippines either. Like if you're going to like when we went to Bacolod to see you, bro, there's no first class for Bacolod on Air Asia. Air Asia, you can sit at the front of the plane and they serve you your meal first. You get an extra thank you and you're welcome allotted towards you per trip. That's about it.
It's like flying Southwest over here.
Yo, without the seat pick.
About the difference between Tinder over here and Tinder in America, because a lot of guys, they when they hear the word Tinder, they're apprehensive. Is there a difference?
I'm from San Francisco and I live in New York. Trust me, I get it. I get the apprehension. I'm apprehensive of it all the time. Sometimes just hearing Tinder makes me flinch a little bit. But the main difference is in Phil's, again, it's a numbers game. In California, a lot of thought process, especially where I'm from, Bay Area, New York, there are a lot of high value men, and there's a lot of conditioning towards the fact that I can have whichever one I want because cats are thirsty out there. We're swiping right on everything in San Francisco. So, and in the city, and even here in New York, making a 6-figure salary and being a charming guy and having a nice personality and, throwing pipe well, that's not going to cut it. What else you got to bring to the table? So it's like, it's wild because it's like in a lot of other countries, you're a first round draft pick. You get to the States, you can't even get in the D League. So like, it's an entire flip. You get to Manila, you're a blue chip. So it's like, obviously statistics are still statistics. You're never going to hit all of them. There are going to be some that are fake, some that are catfishes, some that, secretly have 9 kids they're not going to tell you about until they show up, all this other wildness. But ultimately, it's like you go through so many numbers, like eventually it's going to happen. Like with my girlfriend, it was like, it wasn't a first go thing. It was like an 8th or 9th try, like you take some L's on the way. So
it's still a minefield, right? You got blew up a few times.
Just you got a little you don't have air support raining down on you like in the States. That's the difference. You only got to worry about the ground. You don't have to worry about getting bombarded from up top. What school did I go to in the city? I actually split. I'm not from San Francisco. I worked in San Francisco. I'm from Oakland. I went to Oakland Tech. Before that, I went to both Kennedys, Kennedy in Richmond, California, and Kennedy in Sacramento, California.
Man, that's my old stomping grounds.
Hey, town business. I already knew it.
Oakland, San Francisco, Richmond, Hercules.
Art's Crab Shack?
Huh?
Art's Crab Shack?
Of course I do.
I used to live right across the street. Right there, 40th and Broadway. It's a small world. All the OGs know what I'm talking about when I say Arts. I know. I feel it.
Hey, hanging out in Jack London Square.
Yo, some things don't change.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, TJ.
Likewise. I mean, outside of text, I always chat y'all in the comments and whatnot, but I'm not here all the time.
Yeah, he says just keep shooting. He said just keep shooting your shot until you hit. Yeah, that's usually what happens.
I mean, Steph Curry has nights where he goes 1 for 12 in the first half. He comes back around and busts out a 30-burger. That's all I'm saying. You never know until you know.
Brian said he's got so many that they can't believe it. Even the guys over here, they're like, man, You got all those on Tinder? He had a rotation going, Fred, over here for a minute. But now he's got one girl that's trying to pin him down here. And I said, well, he asked me what to do. I said, well, hell, I don't know. I never had it like that. I came here in the early days before Tinder. You know, I had to go from island to island to have a damn rotation. I didn't have a rotation.
He better hope they're not all in the same barangay.
Yeah,
That's what I was about to say. You know, the scary thing about Tinder is you play along that ratio. You know, Philippines, no matter how big of a city you're in, it's not that large of a place.
No,
Trust me, I found out a couple of times. I went out with somebody, found out like I had one of my employees, like, you know, cats out here in the Philippines, you make male friends here. They're like down for you. So as soon as I'm telling my buddy about this Tinder date, he's like, wait, yo, what's her name? Yo, let me do some research for you. Came back like the CIA. Came back and was like, yo, she's still living with her ex, and he doesn't know that she's out here dating on the side. And I was like, my brother, the next bottle's on me. Don't worry. Like, I'm telling you, it's still a minefield. You just the game's a little more even. It's a little more like a coin flip.
Yeah, but listen to this. I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but all the 5 women that have come here with their dates and have met me, including you, TJ. TJ bought 2. They're all from Lady, by the way. So Lady must really like Tinder.
Oh no, mine are from Mindanao. My girlfriend's from Mindanao.
Yeah,
my housekeeper is also from Mindanao. They're both Davao.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, but these last 3 have been from Lady, and I'm like, wow.
I think it's because of Senior K's advertisements of Lady vis-a-vis his marriage. Because Tim's girl's from Lady, right?
Which one?
Tim K.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure she's from Lady. I think she's from
guys,
Southern Lady.
I mean, the last 3 women that have come here, well, now 4, because Franz is here. His girlfriend's from Lady. I'm like, well, damn.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Sound like that's.
Yeah, we went to. I mean, is that a coincidence or what? But let me ask you about saying no over here, TJ, because hell, the way you were spending don't look like you say no over here, do you?
I mean, I spend on me, and then the rest. Did everybody else freeze? Is that me? Am I frozen? Nope. No, it's just one person.
That's
all right.
With that pose he's got.
Yo, it looked like he was charging up to say something super smart, so I was waiting. But saying no, I mean, for me, I say no all the time. You have to understand, like, even when like I'm here by myself, or if I'm by myself and wherever I am, I like to treat me the best I can. Most of the time I spend at work stressing, so anytime I'm spending at work, I'm trying to do as little stressing as possible. So like my girl
was freezing. Dana was freezing.
Crashed out.
Well, for a minute, I thought he fell asleep.
No, if you fall asleep like this, you've fallen asleep for life. You've fallen into the great sleep. If you do this and you stop moving, that's not a normal sleep.
Mickey's okay. To be honest with you, man. But yeah, you gotta say no every now and then.
Yeah.
Over here. You're gonna be in all kind of business. You're gonna be in all kind of business entanglement.
Oh, bro, let me tell you, like, especially if you have money, like they know, like, people see me coming out of my like condo and already have me for like a mark in Davao. Like, oh, hey, I got this. Oh, you know what? You do a great. Oh, don't you want to start No, I don't want to start nothing. I don't want to invest in anything. I don't want to be your principal investor. I don't want to give you a little bit of money. I don't want to hear your business idea. I don't think it's a good idea for you to resell clothes. No, I don't have the crypto lick for you. Like, I hear everything. You hear everything, especially in tech. Hey, can you hack No, I can't hack anything. Please don't call here anymore. Like,
that was the first thing I said. We're constantly being asked to buy something, invest in something, over here. So you better be able to say no. And a lot of times, though, I'll buy something off the street, especially if it's an older lady. Like, I've got so many placemats now in my house it could probably cover my whole damn floor, Fred, because it's 3 for $100. But you get so many, you get propositioned a lot over here.
Yep, you do.
So if you say yes to all of it, you're going to end up being broke.
Or at least really tired of hearing bad ideas.
Yeah. He says, I guess he's trying to say great community here, but he's saying Greek community here, Calvin. I've been watching.
Opa!
Finally, I'm leaving Friday and will be arriving in Cebu on Sunday. Oh, wow. Yeah. Is this your first time, Tim's life adventure? Because a lot of people are coming over here for the first time. And Franz's first trip out of the country, he's 42. He's never been out of the United States before. So he decided to make his first trip to Philippines, TJ. And I told him, man, I said, you in my Hall of Fame just for that.
That is a heck of a first trip.
And it won't be his last trip,
man.
It won't be his last one.
Yeah, because it won't be his last one. It's a long, because like the guy said, hell, it's a lot of pussy in between the United States and the Philippines that you could stop and no, that's what Mark told his girlfriend. He said, I flew past a lot of pussy to get to you. That's what he said, Fred. It's not my words. Yeah. Kuya Dan said, it's only foreigners who are afraid to say no. Filipinos say no every other word. Well, that's the default word over here is no. When they ask you, TJ, are you hiring? What do you say? No. TJ, give me a loan. No.
Oh, I get the hiring one all the time because as W has alluded to, I work in the BPO industry. So yeah, as soon as people hear that, I get, hey, my cousin is looking for a job. My aunt, I used to have it happen to me in the Bay, just like they're saying in the comment section. South Bay is basically like Philippines, like beta version or like diet Philippines, still American prices, but very Filipino culture. When I used to live in Oakland, my downstairs neighbor, right-hand neighbor, and upstairs neighbor were all first-generation immigrants. So like when I left, I had people like before I got to Davao ever, I had people writing me like, "Hey, this is like, we never talk, but I think it would be great if you go explore Davao. Here's some like travel tips. By the way, I have a niece and a nephew that are looking for work. They're both great at IT. Here's their phone numbers, email addresses, and links to their resume." It's like, okay, all right, deep breaths, calm down.
Now, you've traveled around the Philippines for a while. I'm not going to put you out here, TJ, to say it's the best or anything like that, but how was the food at Malawani? So that my listeners...
Malawani is dope. I think, like, as somebody that that's lived in Manila, there's definitely... outside of Manila, there's a noticeable drop in quality of food. Even in Davao, even in Cebu, even though less so than the rest of the Phils, maybe. It's rough the further away you get from there. I would say as far away as we were from Manila, it is pretty unexpected to find like a meal that good. Ribs are fire. Like the ribs are like I don't want anybody to like think that that's just you being here too long. Because I know once you've been here a few months, foods that might have been a B suddenly start getting elevated to like A- status. No, ribs are legit. The ribs did not last for longer than 6 minutes, I think, and that's including the time they were too hot to pick up. So definitely don't sleep on Malawani, but also you don't have to keep telling people about my suite. I would like it to be open when I'm there. So maybe we just.
Well, hell, you got to talk to Malawani. That's all they're offering now. You can't get a regular room.
They were doing a lot of reno when I was there. That could be it. I saw a few of their normal rooms where they looked like they were stripping them down and renovating, which is intense because it's not that old of a hotel. So, I mean, shout out to them, even if it's at the cost of business.
Yeah, but see, you said it. That's why I tell guys all the time. I was shocked. I never expected the food to be as good as it was being in a little place like St. Carlos City. I mean, I was really shocked. I was like, wow, this is a pleasant surprise. But it really is, the ribs up. I mean, everything over there. I've never got anything off that menu that wasn't good. I saw you eating the spaghetti and meatballs. I know it's not you know, the best. But hell, you ate it all.
Oh wait, I want to clarify though. Just to make sure Texas Tea Soy ain't on my line next time I show up in Davao. The ribs were not as fire as Bobby's ribs. Bobby cooked some ribs for 4th of July last summer and invited me over. And bro, I don't think that I was able to properly move for like a day and a half. Like we got down. So yeah, shout out Texas Tea Soy. Shout out Davao. Shout out Smoking Ribs in the homemade smoker out in Ecoland. Looking forward to seeing Smokey there. He just Texas actually showed me the house that he rented because he was telling me about how it was up for rent. So that'll be
Yeah.
an exciting duo to follow.
I'm pretty sure they've got good ribs on Guam, right, Fred?
Normally we have here the best ribs are people that cook ribs themselves because you got the usual places like Ruby Tuesdays. Was it Jamaican Grill has some good ribs, and you can find some good ribs here. But the best ribs I ever had was the ones that people prepare individually. You go to somebody's house.
Yeah, that's what.
Instead of going to the chain, instead of going to a lot of the chain restaurants, that we have here.
Yeah, now this is a great idea right here. See, now when I came in 2009, obviously it was different. Even in 2018, I would say don't get any more than 100, depending on when you come into the country at the airport, depending on if you have your hotel reservation already made or not, because you may need a little bit more than 100 to pay for 1 or 2 nights in the hotel. But I wouldn't do too much more than that because they're busting heads over here now. Fran said when it was 52, because he's only been here like a little bit over 2 weeks, it was 52. He said they only gave him 48.
Yeah. Wait, 52, huh? It was
And they said,
51.8 when I left mid March. That's nuts. But
yeah,
yeah, they'll wax you. It depends on who you go through though. I've honestly I saved the easiest times I've had TransferWise are one ATM, obviously, because you get market rate. So I use my Navy Federal ATM card a lot out there. TransferWise is probably second best, but it's slower. And then Wire, it's like you're losing money, but unless you really you're there over and over and over again, I feel like
yeah,
the loss is sustainable. But if you're living there for half a year, nah, it's wild. Will you be able to catch a taxi from Manila Makati? Yes. That's all part of the same NCR. It costs you maybe 200 to 300 pesos depending on where you're going to take a Grab. I last took one last March when I took a taxi from the airport to I'm Hotel in Makati, which is right there in Calayan. It was 230 to 240 or something like that.
yeah. Now, and what's your opinion of Grab versus taxi as far as my opinion is if you're going a short distance, I'll go ahead and take the taxi. But if I'm going a long distance, I would take the Grab. But a lot of times it's okay if you're living by IT and you go to SM Mall or Ayala Mall, it's going to actually cost you less in a taxi. But if you're going any further, I would say, and then especially at night, I would say the Grab.
My thought process is I take Grab whenever I can because the Grab drivers, and this part is important, care about themselves, the car, and you as far as everything getting to a place in one piece. They don't really terribly care in a taxi. I found Manila. In Manila, you're playing with your life every time you get into the back of a cab.
You're correct.
Davao's worst of both
Yeah.
worlds because you have Grab, but it only brings you taxis. And that's I try to if there's an organized taxi I know I remember in Angeles when they started the blue taxis I started taking those if I could because they were clean and they're consistent. I'm a clean consistent person. If you can deliver me that, I'm gonna use that. So if I get it from Grab, I get it from Grab. I get it from a taxi, which you won't in the Philippines. I get it from a taxi. But yeah.
Yeah, but there's not really Navy Federal ATMs over here. he uses his Navy Federal ATM card.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to see them specifically over here.
There's none there.
Yeah, they just do.
You're going to see Filipino banks here.
Yeah, it's just really good ATM rates and very little fees. I think it's like $1 for international transactions. So for me, it's the way to go.
There is an app for Grab that you can
Mhm.
download when you get here.
It's a super app. It's the same way that now you can have Uber Eats and Uber, but if you have just Uber, you can do Eats and all that other stuff. Same thing with Grab now. If you have Grab, depending on where you are, you'll be able to call a taxi, order food, buy load for your phone, etc. Another thing, for people that get here, if you do take the Philippine SIM card route, because we sleep on this a lot on this channel, please get yourself a Gcash. Just go get the Gcash app. I don't even think Gcash has to be attached to Globe SIM. I think you just need to have a Philippine SIM. It makes your life a lot easier. If you download the Skrill app from America or Europe, you can actually send yourself money from your card to Gcash. It's just really handy in a lot of places where you might do hand-to-hand cash transactions, but you don't want to walk around with 25,000 pesos on you. It's just highly recommended. I know there's PayMaya as well, which is slightly less popular, but I've been able to use Gcash like in a pinch at the airport or whatever, and it stays. It's so clutch. Please get Gcash, y'all. Don't play yourselves.
That's great information. Iskandari TV was putting me up on that a long time ago, but yeah, that's great information right there. That Gcash, it's almost just like having PayPal or something, really, because it's accepted just about everywhere you go over here. They said JH is in the Philippines living it up right now. Let's answer this question. He says, "Hey Cal, although the panel encourages men to shoot their shot there, does the panel feel due to men trying to court women in the U.S., they shoot their shot at what they can get, not at what they want?"
Nah, because I be taking L's all the time in America. I'm shooting. I must shoot. I feel it though. I can understand that mentality. I totally. Yep. I've been at a point in my life where that would have been the thought process for sure. But I mean, I think it's interesting for me because I started coming into the Philippines for work, and then automatically, as soon as I figured out what was popping there as often as possible in my 20s. So in my 20s, it was like, it was go, go, go. It was go time. If I saw something, I'd spit, but it took a bit because it's like, you have to get over that mental thing in America where like, there's a slight chance you get roasted if you go and like holler at a girl in the States, like at least, from where I'm from. So with that, I guess there is that little bit of mental resistance, but the me that knows what I know now and goes to the Philippines is like, you got just as much chance of, the 9 out of 10 in the mall saying yes as the girl at McDonald's, bro. So why not?
Yeah. But a lot of times we don't get what we want, we get what we are. So a lot of times that's what you attract anyway. But I can see that because a lot of guys come over here, they don't want that to be a problem. So they'll go with the low-lying fruit. They'll just pick it up off the ground versus trying to get up in the tree and get the real good fruit that that's ripe and shiny and everything like that. I see a lot of guys doing that. Now, Mo, he had about as close to a 10 as I've ever seen anybody have that I've been associated with here in the Philippines. That young lady he had, Carla. I mean, but he met her online. I mean, it wasn't like he went out and, went for it. He actually met her online, and man, she was something else. So, but a lot of guys, they just go for they'll rather have a yummy 5 or a yummy 6 and go on about their business doing other things. It's not really. It's not a contest. Uh, as far as I'm concerned, you just hey, you at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own happiness anyway. But yeah, if I can get a yummy 5 or 6, I'm okay. Hell, I'm 58. I'm not 30. How old are you, TJ?
I will be 33 at the end of this week.
Yeah, see now he's probably more concerned with that stuff, Fred. If I can get a
I
woman to him,
mean, I
that's
mean,
I'm
I
58, man. I'll be 59. If I could get a yummy 5 or 6, I'm happy, man. I'm like,
I
but
mean,
that
it is a trade off. Like it's the old saying, you don't want to deal with having a bad one, don't date a bad one, because like my girl is cute, but like the other side of that is like there's a lot of like she's getting hit on like a lot, so you have to kind
yeah,
of understand the same way you're out here shooting at everything, girl or boyfriend or not. There are other cats out here, and it's usually Filipino because she's in Davao. There wasn't like a really big foreigner presence this last couple of years. So like, that's the trade-off. But I think yeah, I definitely think that you can be kind of mentally guardrailed where you're like, well, I don't want to holler at her because I get shot down by girls that look like that, or that looks like the girl that used to dub me, in after gym class or whatever. Like you might have those, but once you really get into it, it's like you honestly it really is. What do you have the confidence to like go do? Because there's never going to be like a ew no like kind of response here. You know what I mean? Like nobody's
yeah,
out here trying to humiliate you for flattering them by saying, yo, hey, just wanted to say I was kicking over there with friends. You look outstanding today. Do you have a boyfriend by any chance? Like a girl's not gonna ew, get the fuck away. Like that doesn't happen here. Like even if she does, she'll be like,
yeah,
I do, sorry, but thank you. Like, and you still walk away like, all right, cool. Next one's going in.
yeah,
So
yeah. Which is
it's
big.
definitely,
Yeah.
and
But
that's
he
another
said
thing.
that SIM card. I would either go with Globe. See, he's got Ditto. Ditto's the new one from China. I don't, and I think they got that in Davao too. But I would go with Smart or Globe if I'm in Cebu. I've got Smart here because it does matter. Because Globe here in St. Carlos City
Was
does not have a
trash.
good
Was
signal.
Yeah.
It's trash.
garbage.
I changed to smart.
Basura.
I changed to smart years ago because Globe just wasn't working for me when I was over there. And smart,
Yeah,
works
yeah, I
fine
love
for me
it.
because when I'm here, I put it's in roaming. When I'm here, I just activate it when I'm there.
Hey, I want to thank my panel for being on today. I got to get off of here. It's ugly outside. I'm gonna go over here and to Malwani and hook up with Brian and his girlfriend. We're gonna try to do something with them. Probably is that national championship game still on over there? Or is it gone off? I want to thank
Mm,
everybody for your super chats, your super stickers, your thumbs up.
3 left in the
All
half.
So we're gonna give TJ and Fred the last word. Go ahead, Fred.
All I got to say is, man, I enjoy this show, and thanks for always having me on. You get some great guests, that come onto the panel and everything else. I'm enjoying it. It's good information is given out for those coming to the Philippines for the first time and those who've been there many times before.
Well, they said you got that Rick Ross going on, TJ. What's up with that?
I'm at best like the most medium-sized boss that you've seen thus far, but I'll take it. I'll use mine just to answer the last couple of questions because I hate leaving them trailing. I think somebody asked about do I keep the beard in the Philippines or do I shave? It really depends. I trim it a lot of the time. Girls in the Philippines honestly are more for smooth chin than a beard, but some girls dig that vibe as well. It really depends. But if we're talking statistics, more girls are going to want you smooth faced than not. I don't care. I make enough money that I don't want to really hear that shit either way.
All right.
And then yeah, best places for internet, all the populated spots: BGC in Makati in Manila, IT Park in Cebu, Davao. It's bad everywhere, but if you are going to be there, pick a place with a FiOS backbone Aeon Towers, Abriza Place. I want to say Verdon Park all have decent internet lines, but it's the Philippines, so if the wind blows the wrong way or someone farts the wrong direction, internet's down for half the island. So take what you can get.
Can't be any worse than I just
Yeah,
experienced.
go ahead, Dana. You
I'm
got
back.
the last word. You got the last word. Welcome, Lance. By the way, you got the last word, Dana. The last we saw you was in that forever mode.
Yeah, we just had a lightning strike not too far from here and knocked everything out.
Oh wow.
I mean, lights, action, everything was out.
Are
But
you in
anyway,
a condo? Look like you're in a condo.
no, I'm in my apartment.
Oh, okay.
But I guess the last thing I want to say is, and I say it all the time, guys, price and travel insurance. You know, I just can't emphasize that enough. That and remember, as Calvin says, you're a guest in someone else's country. So give them all the respect that they deserve, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and if you get drunk, man, get drunk at home, get drunk in the park, in the Airbnb, in the hotel, man. Don't go to these local places, man. They just had 2 big brawls in Cebu. Now, if you're there, of course, somebody's gonna hit you over the head just because they get, the opportunities there.
Yeah,
But
you don't want to be collateral damage.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah,
it's too early to be back in the clubs right now in the
Yeah.
Philippines. People just getting out. They just remembering how to act. It's nut to butt in every single club in Davao, Cebu, Manila. People are drinking. It's loud. It's asking for a tussle. So
yeah.
for at
It'll be
least for the next couple of weeks, throw it at your room. You meet a girl on Tinder. She probably has some homies. Just tell her, yo, I got a couple bottles. You want to come kick it at the hotel? You will be surprised how many times the answer is yes. Go have your own little bar for a second. Just be cool out here. Just don't get trashed. Don't do anything ridiculous. Like keep an honest man honest, etc., etc., etc. People be fine out here. Y'all all grown. Don't die, please.
That's not it, Calvin.
That's not it.
No, it's danamiddle@aol.com.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Because, a lot of them guys be like, I've always wanted to hit a foreigner upside the head. Well, hell, it's a good chance now. And they do it, man. It's been too many of us have been collateral damage over here. But, here's Dana's information, WT Secrets to Success. And a lot of these guys got channels, man. Get some of these guys on your channel. I'll tell you, they got a lot to say. Cal Demon says, please don't get pissy drunk. You will get popped, promise. But okay, guys, I got to get off of here. Everybody take care. Stay safe. Stay COVID free. I'm going to see if I can catch the last of this championship game, man. See y'all later. Thanks, panel, for joining me this time.
Good night, everyone.
Good seeing you. Peace out, y'all.